It's the NFL on EA Sports, where we'll see two of the NFL's oldest and most storied franchises. It's the Washington Commanders and the Green Bay Packers. Coming up next.
This place first opened way back in 1957. We are inside legendary Lambeau Field here in Green Bay. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis, thrilled to be with you from the broadcast booth. And partner, before we get this thing started, what are you going to be watching?
Who gets off to a fast start? In horse racing terms, they talk about catching a flyer out of the gate. Who sets the pace and makes the other team chase?
Here's the former Utah Ute, Matt Gay, to get this one started. And off we go from Lambeau. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. 6'4" Jordan Love taking the field for the first time. The 2020 first-round pick from Utah State set to lead Green Bay.
And at the start of Jordan Love's NFL career, he had one of the best seats in the stadium watching Aaron Rodgers work. But now he's looking for more than that. Rocket arm, big play potential, and he wants to show this organization that he's capable of being a dependable starter for the foreseeable future.
In need of only about the length of the football here on second down. A first carry for the all-pro running back. It's Josh Jacobs. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field when his number is called. The way he's running it, I keep going back to him.
2nd and 5. Love now. Got Dobbs over the middle. That's good for a first down, his second catch of the opening drive. Running straight ahead is Jacobs. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
2nd down, Jacobs once more. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time. They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on 3rd. To throw now. Here's Love. Looking deep here for Dobbs. And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. Romeo Dobbs, 45 yards. And the Packers put the Knights' first points on the board as they take the early lead. Personally, for him, a great opening drive. He had 3 catches, including the touchdown.
That felt like tremendous scouting, great film watching, and creating a game plan to start this off, not only to get him involved, but to send a message to the defense, you can have a lot to handle in this one.
Extra point from McManus is good, and it's now a 7-0 game. So that drive 7 plays in length, and that drive all capped off with a Romeo Doubs touchdown. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. Leading them out, their young quarterback, the rookie from LSU.
If you ask coaches at any level to design their ideal leader of a team, I think they're going to check every box with this guy. He's got the poise to handle responsibility. He stays calm under any kind of pressure, and he brings out the best of his teammates each and every week. No daylight for him to run through there, and he ran into the defensive tackle, and that guy blocks a whole lot of daylight as it is. He is truly a big man who just made a big play.
First carry of the game for Brian Robinson. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Third and 12. And now some motion before the snap. And this will be our first penalty of the night's proceedings. Now, the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long. To the air goes Daniels. On the screen, this is Eckler. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29. They'll get 8, but they're going to have to punt here on the opening drive because that's not enough.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the first down.
Good coverage there holds him to just a 2-yard return following a punt of 44. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. The Packers offense here coming back out for their second drive. They've got the 7-0 lead. Now they've got the football back after their defense got the stop, CD. And you get the feeling if they could score here, they'd really have all the momentum on their side.
And you just wonder right now, is the quarterback and the play caller totally in sync? Are they of one mind that, hey, what worked last time? Let's keep doing it until they stop us. Or do they go to a different section in the playbook, show them something different? Either way, they want a repeat of their first drive. Well, let's face it, that's just a helpless feeling for a running back there. He's looking up to find a hole, and all he finds is a whole lot of ticked-off linebacker.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Once again, it's Jacobs. Had a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Off the play fake, Love. Short throw, he's got Kraft. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Now Washington going to retake the field for drive number 2. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Nice chunk of yards on first down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on second. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
Now Daniels. Had his hands on it, but dropped it. The rookie making a little bit of a rookie mistake. Third down.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Daniels looking to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40. Robinson up the middle, and he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
To throw is Daniels. And this will be caught by Brown. And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Daniels from the gun on 3rd down. That's going to be caught. Touchdown, Washington. Deebo Samuel, 33 yards. And the Commanders are within an extra point of tying up this ball game. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
Matt Gay on for the extra point. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it's Deebo Samuel who caps things with a touchdown reception. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Packers offense now heading back out onto the field. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. Love. That's complete. He finds Jaden Reed. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks. Give him a yard up to the 42. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout, and we will. We've got an injured Packer on the field. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd and 9. On play action. Love to throw. Looking deep here for Dobbs. And he's got it inside the 10. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 55 yards.
He's already got one touchdown this first half already. That very nearly was a second. Defensively, they're going to have to figure something out because he's been able to outrun the defenders early and often so far.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. Jacobs fighting, but he won't get too far. Maybe a yard, that's all, down to the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal.
I think what we just saw there, partner, was linebacking speed that can trump O-line power. We see that at times because he filled the gap before the offensive lineman could get to the next level and take him on.
Love looking to throw it to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Well, that was his first target of the game, and it's going to take at least one more target to get him on the board. Took a nice substantial hit to jar that catch loose from him. Incomplete pass.
This Washington defense, they've stood tall the first 2 plays. Now 3rd and goal. They'll run with Jacobs, and he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Now McManus will line up for the field goal. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. The kick by McManus is good. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. And the Washington offense heading out. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Rashawn Gary that time fighting free and getting to the quarterback. Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively. Pressure coming off that right side from the DN.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well. And that's why you rely on your left tackle, maybe your highest-paid offensive lineman, to take care of you. In this situation, that didn't happen.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Throwing now is Daniels. Got a man. It's Brown. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the 1st down at the 29. The keeper nets him only a yard, and that's going to bring up 4th. Now the former Oklahoma Sooner Tress Way on to punt the football. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. That'll be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done. For a tight end, he's got good straight line speed, and on that route, he's often the guy that gets overlooked. Nice job there finding him in stride for really good yardage.
Oh, the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
(10-7) our score after 1 right here on EA Sports. Back for the second quarter in Green Bay. It's the Packers in possession of the football.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
Jacobs going to try the middle.
And he'll get this only up to about the 35. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on 3rd down.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
The Packers on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Will Harris there to make the play.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
And here's Daniel Whelan on now to punt.
44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. Fielded just inside the 20. Call that a 44-yard punt. 5 on the return.
And the Commanders will take over with a 1st and 10. Here comes the Commanders offense back onto the field. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10.
Here's Daniels.
He finds his man, complete. That's Lane. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
The Packers bringing in an extra member of the secondary here to try for the 3rd down stop.
They'll try to pick up the first with Eckler. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
I think I saw a lot of shoulders just drop there. And what I mean by that is they finally were able to relax a little bit because that was an important play call. They needed to pick up that 1st down at this stage of the game.
Yeah, couldn't afford another quick drive and out.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. He finds his man, complete. It's Lane.
From the 44-yard line, here's 2nd and 5.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert,
Don't jump early and give them free yardage.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Daniels. This to McLaurin out on the left side. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. Second down and 3. Looking to throw. Daniels on the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Working out of the gun, Daniels. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's going to have a Commanders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, they've certainly gotten him involved in this first half, and on 3rd down, they looked his way again. And what a delight for his quarterback to find him and keep the drive moving.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll look to throw again. That's complete to his receiver, McLaurin. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Flushed out right. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. Able to find a lot of empty space there, picking up the first down at a 21-yard gain.
Facing 2nd and short, that gives you a chance to go for a bigger play through the air. But I think he said to himself, why not just handle this one? Got all the yards he needed and then some, and made that snap a huge success.
This is caught. Touchdown. Zach Ertz. A 5-yard touchdown.
And the Commanders have moved out in front.
There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Here's Gay now to add the extra point. And that makes it 14-10. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive.
And it ends with a Zach Ertz touchdown.
Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. And he won't quite make it to the 25. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field.
The last series for him, a little disappointing, forced a punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10. Love and the Packers now with a 1st and 10
at their own 24. Throwing. Love. He'll go over the middle to Reed, complete. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and it's 2nd down. They will run out of the gun with Jacobs.
And they'll stop him after a gain of a couple to the 33.
Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Here's third and a few inches. Now Love. That is caught. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like right at the 40. His fifth catch tonight, and it's good for a first down.
That's not the first time they've looked his way when they've needed a big play. He's been the go-to guy all game long. And they get the hook up again on third down to keep this drive alive.
Love now. Over the middle, it's complete. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that'll make it second down. To pass, here's Jordan Love. Got Dobbs over the middle. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
On the handoff, this is Jacobs. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And a throw right sideline is complete. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. Last play, they didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Now they gain almost 40 yards here.
They made that way too easy for them. No one is supposed to be that open against an NFL defense. Once he caught the ball, there wasn't anybody close enough to stop him. And he was able to continue downfield after making the catch.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Here's Love. Over the middle, complete. It's Reed. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. From the 4, it's 2nd and a couple. To throw now. Here's Love. Touchdown, Packers. Jaden Reed from 4 yards out. And the Packers have regained the lead. They went empty backfield, all their weapons out wide, so there really was no secret here to what they were going to do.
No secret, but they still had to execute it, and they still had to protect the guy throwing the ball because oftentimes when you empty the backfield, people bring pressure at you. They managed to hold in there and successfully complete the touchdown pass.
McManus now for the extra point. It's good, and they'll take a 17-14 lead. So a nice drive put together there. They go 75 yards in 9 plays. And it ends with a Packers touchdown. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. Play action, now it's Daniels. He's got the hook up downfield to Samuel. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
36 yards on the play.
Well, as my dad would say sometimes, I'm just scratching my head here trying to figure out what was going on there defensively. How did you lose him in the middle of the field? If you're going to lose a receiver, make sure it's someone on the short side of things, not deep downfield, that can hurt your defense.
So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 36. To the air goes Daniels. He finds his man, complete. It's Lane, and he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. The Washington passing game dialed in now. It's a 1st down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Now Daniels. Ertz has it left side. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
So 3 plays already 1st and goal, and they are wasting little time. Robinson is in. Touchdown, Washington. Well, that was a quick drive. The passing game set it up, and then the running game finishes it off.
And how about how few plays it was to get it done, but they threw it downfield and then pounded it into the end zone. And as a former defender, I can tell you, it hurts just a little bit more when they run it into the end zone instead of throwing it.
Gay is on for the point after. It's up and good to make it 21-17. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it was capped off by the touchdown run for Brian Robinson. After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Packers offense and quarterback Jordan Love heading back out onto the field. And he's done everything you could have asked for coming in. He's spread it around. He hasn't taken many chances. And he's potentially on his way to a big game throwing the football. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
2nd and 10. Here's Jacobs from the gun. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
And they'll send the tight end in motion left. Love from the gun on 3rd down. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he is going to have the Packers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that's one of those where it feels like backyard football in a sense. You say, forget about the route. Just run to the open spot in the middle of the field, and I'll find you. Good throw, good concentration on the catch, and they pick up the 1st down.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Love. Looking middle, and that's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Give him back-to-back catches now. That one for 16. And another 1st down.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, He ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
Being chased out left. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Back to throw. Love. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
I like the call. It looked like the right time to dial up a running back screen, but this one got disrupted right from the start and ends up falling incomplete.
Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Working out of the gun. Love. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Packers first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert here on 3rd and 3.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another first down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
Going right side here, and that's complete. And they move this all the way down to the 9. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. They will throw again here with Jordan Love. And that is incomplete.
And down here, 1st and goal, if it's not there, don't force it. You've got at least 2, if not 3 more shots at it. So that's a wise move to get rid of it.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Love looking to throw it. Throwing the out route, incomplete. That's Reed. That catch good for 8, but still, it's 3rd and goal now. Play fake. Here's Love. Back in the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. Okay, so he stepped foot out of bounds. Charles came back in first to touch it, and they got him for illegal touching.
Yeah, and you know it doesn't matter either, Brandon. Catch it, don't catch it. If you're the first to touch it, that's going to draw a flag.
The kick by McManus is good. So 3 points on the board, as easy a field goal as you're going to get, but I can see you shaking your head.
I love that peripheral vision of yours, partner, because to me, if it's the 4th quarter and you're up 6, I get it. But now, even if you run and don't get in, you're still setting them up to go a long field, 98, 99-yard drive. How do you look at your defense and not give them that opportunity?
And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
It was a solid first half of football for the Alabama man, Brian Robinson. He had a touchdown run that helped get his guys this halftime lead.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3.
It's been a shootout so far. We'll see which defense can make the adjustments as we get back underway in the second half. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Commanders' offense and Jaden Daniels getting set for this next possession. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner,
yeah, they went to the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
Straight ahead, it's Robinson.
A solid stiff arm. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
It's a first down Washington on a pickup of 18.
They've got the lead early here in the third quarter, and runs like that are how they established that lead in the first half.
I love the fact that you're using the word lead because they are leading from the front, pounding on the defense right now with the running game, and truly establishing themselves here in the second half.
Back to Robinson now on first down. And great blocking downfield as he's got this almost to the 35-yard line.
Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
On first and 10, it's Robinson.
And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
Now that was an excellent run, and when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
This is caught. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. 23 yards on the play.
Well, this is a defense that's definitely on their heels now because they gave up the running play for good yardage 1 play ago. Now the pass here sets this offense up first and goal. They're going to have to dig in strong now because they've been in retreat so far in this drive. This offense on the march.
Robinson is not going to get back to the line of scrimmage as they'll tackle him at the 3.
That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
But they're certainly not neglecting their run duties as well as they ate up the blockers in front and allowed the secondary to get home.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, second and goal.
Off the play fake, Daniels. And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3, and not giving up 6.
From the 3-yard line again, they'll try and punch it in here on third and goal.
They go play action. Daniels
out to his left. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington.
Jaden Daniels.
A 3-yard touchdown run.
And the Commanders take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
They were looking to pass the ball there, but they forgot to account for the man with the football.
Yeah, I can hear people right now saying, well, why don't you have a spy in your defense, someone who will dance with him and go where he goes? Well, oftentimes if you utilize a spy, you've taken away someone in coverage as well. And oftentimes, the spy, not as athletic as the guy he's trying to keep up with, so he gets defeated anyway.
And he turns third and goal into a touchdown. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And the lead is up to 8. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. And he returns this to the 22. The Packers offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And he had it going in the first half, that's for sure. He's really had his way with his secondary. They've been powerless to stop him, and he'll look to keep it rolling right here. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And that, nearly picked off. Well, it would have been a great time for their first interception of the game. Instead, it's second down.
We know he has a lot of confidence in his arm and likes to force it downfield, but the coverage was tight there. Fortunate it wasn't picked off.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Looking to throw. Love. He finds his man. Complete. It's Reed. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Out of the shotgun, it's Love. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have the Packers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They will run the draw with Jacobs. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. It was Deron Payne who got in there to make the play.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13. Back to throw. Love. Throw out wide is incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Love from the gun. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line.
Partner, I think this one went awry very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
And the Washington offense going back to work. And they'll have good field position here following the interception and a chance to build on their lead as they start with a 1st and 10. They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. Out of the gun, they give to Robinson. And an excellent job of finding the opening as he's got this now all the way down to the 22. 69 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? So they take the flag and the yardage that comes with it.
Still first down.
They will come up on a 1st and 5 following the encroachment penalty. Again, it's Robinson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Big Kenny Clark that time, pushing upfield to make the tackle for loss.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes if you've got success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. Hand off to Robinson out of the shotgun. And they'll work this down to the 15 for a pickup of 4.
I don't care what the emphasis is in the NFL at any given time. Every defense is still going to say their number one goal every game is stop the run. And right now, they're not doing that, and that really chips away at your confidence.
Here's 3rd and 3. To throw is Daniels. He's got his target. That's complete. And the Commanders are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. They'll run with Robinson, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Throwing now is Daniels. And it's caught. Touchdown, Washington. From 8 yards out. And the Commanders go up by 2 touchdowns.
And remember, partner, that's a rookie quarterback back there. Apparently, he's getting the hang of this NFL thing pretty quickly.
Had 3 touchdown passes. You're right. He looks comfortable. What are they doing? Anything in particular?
Well, they keep talking about making sure they're giving him plays that fit his talents and also maybe shrinking the playbook a little bit. They did tell us that. Bottom line, he's really good.
Here's Gay now to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. A drive that time of 6 plays. And the result, a touchdown for Washington. After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. And able to get this out to the 25. The home team's offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long. On the ground, it's Jacobs to start the drive. And not a whole lot there, maybe a yard to the 27.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Still 9 yards to go on 2nd down from the 27. Operating from the gun, Love. He finds his man, complete. That's Reed. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. They'll give him 4 yards there. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. Play action this time with Love. And he finds a man on the crossing route. And he is going to have a Packers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And, partner, they're locked in man coverage out left, and they end up running a crossing route. Rounded it a little bit more than a slant. And he's just going to angle himself towards the right side of the field, and that's very difficult for a defender to shadow him across all that ground.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. From the 43, here's a 2nd down and 9.
Once again, it's Jacobs. And he carries this one past the midfield stripe and into Commander territory. Give him 8 yards there. Still a few inches to go, though, as it'll be third down and about the length of the football. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Trying to run for it with Jacobs. And Jacobs, I don't think is going to get there. No, it appears they're going to mark him short of the first. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth.
You've got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
On now is the Packers punter as he's on here to punt it away. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35.
And Washington going to come back out here to take over offensively. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
From the shotgun, it's Daniels. Oh, a first mistake for him in the ball game as it's intercepted. Picked off by Xavier McKinney.
And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line.
They've got a pretty comfortable lead right now, but maybe a little too careless with the football that time for the rookie.
I think the key word there is comfortable. And there's two schools of thought on it. With that type of a lead, maybe you can take a few more chances because you have a cushion. Others will tell you, don't eat up the cushion with careless play. He'll learn to ride that line as he moves on in his career.
The Green Bay offense ready to take over. In motion right goes Reed.
Following the interception, Love.
And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt.
He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
Oh, partner, just a second earlier, and they might have had him because they certainly thought they were going to close in and drop him behind the line of scrimmage, but he had just enough time to dodge the pressure, and he ends up getting yardage before being stopped.
Off the play fake, Love.
Brought in by Dobbs on the comeback route.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a first down.
In man coverage, your number one cardinal rule, don't get beat deep. And that's why the comeback route is so effective, because that's how they're selling it, Brandon, taking you all the way upfield before breaking it back down.
On play action, Love to throw. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
That's not the first time they've gone his way on this drive, and they were obviously keyed into him because they were there to help break that pass up.
Green Bay, Wisconsin is the spot. Third quarter inside Lambeau. Glad you're with us. 2nd and 10. To pass, here's Jordan Love. Able to find his man, Kraft.
That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
They went to their big body tight end on 2nd down in hopes that he could plow his way to a first down, but they were ready for him defensively and ended up holding him to a modest gain.
An extra man in the secondary for Washington on 3rd down.
Again, it's Love.
That is caught.
And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. A pickup of 5 that time and a first down. Going old reliable there to the slot on 3rd down.
And the slot position has become the bane of just about every defense's existence, because how do you cover? Do you go with a bigger guy to try and use size? Got to try and go with a quicker guy, and sometimes you even get out quick there. Very difficult to match up with that slot receiver. That's why they keep going back to him.
And he's had the hot hand. Back now at Lambeau. It's the Packers who have the football, but in need of points as we begin quarter number 4. Love now. He'll go over the middle to Reed, complete. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that will bring up second down. To throw now. Here's Love. He finds his man, complete. That's Jacobs. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5. Now they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. Throwing, Love. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Oh, this defense knows. 4th quarter, they need to make a play. That one was ripe for the taking. Could have changed the complexion of the ball game, but it winds up incomplete.
Now McManus will line up for the field goal. From the left hash, a chip shot here. The kick by McManus is good, and they're hanging around here as the lead's down to 12. Well, the 3 points certainly helps, but you feel like, Charles, at this stage of the game, when you force those turnovers, need to start converting them into touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised myself because I thought in this situation they were thinking end zone or bust. Now they got to rely on their defense to get the ball back again for another opportunity to get 6 points.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So out comes Washington's offense to take over. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
And for the defense, this is a spot where you don't want to totally sell out to stop the run, but you do have a pretty good idea of what you're going to see. And that's good work right there to keep them in check on that first down carry.
Play action, now it's Daniels.
And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Well, that one was all about the defender making life difficult for the receiver. Very tough for a guy to hold on to the football through all that contact. He ends up forcing the incompletion.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've hit on 6 of their 8 tries. Very good. This is 3rd and 8.
Here's Daniels. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
That'll be a 47-yard punt, officially 5 on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Packers offense and their wideout getting set to go once more. And he's looking to finish strong. He has been the star of the show as they have just had absolutely no answers for him defensively.
They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs. Nowhere to go that time. Might have gotten a yard up to the 25.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down. And you know what offenses want? Win first down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on 1st down.
They work now on 2nd and 9. Now Love. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
With all the success they've had throwing the football as a pass rusher, you know you've got to come hard when you see him drop back to throw. So I really like this call to counteract that pass rush with a screen. It turns into positive yardage. A lot of times the offense says, just replace the rusher with the ball, and it turns into a good play.
In motion, the tight end. On 3rd down, here comes Jacobs. And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. It's a gain of 16 and a 1st down for the green and gold.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
On 1st down, they go with Jacobs again. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 62 yards rushing for him now as he's toted it 21 times.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
Here's Love. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. He'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down. Tell you what, he did not have much time there to scan the field before he was ducking and covering.
Did it appear to you, as it did to me, that the defensive front won their play really quickly? Meaning the guys in front of them had almost no chance to block him. They were on him in a hurry.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Completed out left to Dobbs. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14. Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And it's a Packers touchdown. Jaden Reed with his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Packers have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. Well, time to let those folks know who are tuning in looking for the late local news. And we may be a moment because we've got a game again.
And partner, except for those on the West Coast where it'll be seen in its regular time, right? That's the way it works, doesn't it? But how about that? Big time drive right there. If they're going to have any chance, they needed a touchdown there, and they went right down the field and worked their way into the end zone.
Now McManus for the extra point. And this is back to a 5-point game. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And the result, a Green Bay score. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. The Commanders' offense and running back Brian Robinson getting set for this next drive. And he has put in a full game's work and then some. Just an incredible performance on the ground to this point in the 4th quarter. He's going to air one out. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Washington. A big play there. His 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Commanders use the big play to extend their 4th quarter lead. Well, Charles, kind of the future of this franchise on display right there. You had a rookie throwing it, a rookie catching it, and taking it into the end zone.
Could you imagine if we were in the owner's box right now and we could look at the front office and see the grins on their faces to see
the present, making plays, and knowing what the future will bring with these youngsters going out and making big-time moments happen for this team.
Extra point by Gay is up and good, and it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. Well, that last touchdown we just saw, what an important one. Now it's back to a 2-score deficit for this crew as they take the field here, and they are in desperate need of finding the end zone. And he's going to be down at the 35, gain of 7.
Now that's a run that warms a play caller's heart because you're actually set up to do whatever you want on offense. You can come right back and run essentially the same play because you have momentum, or you can fake that running play and throw something deep over the top, or you now feel like you have an extra down to play with because if you go ahead and just throw it and you don't get it, come back and try and pick it up on 3rd down. I think the defenders have to feel pretty good. Even though the ball was tipped in the air and could have become a big play for the offense, they actually won one because the guy flinging it today, he's having quite the performance. A couple of touchdown passes, almost threw his first interception, but he's throwing it so well that I think Lady Luck was on his side.
Love. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. With that catch, he goes over 100 yards receiving on the night. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Love, they go play action now. That's taken in by Kraft. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That one goes for 24 yards.
Good yardage on the completion there, and when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
75 yards rushing for him now to this point.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Here now, 2nd and 4. Love looking to throw it. That's going to be caught. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Tucker Kraft, 28 yards. And the Packers have got it back to within a score. So how about that for an answer? They get the touchdown there, and it's back to a 1-score game here in the 4th.
And that's what these guys have done all game long because they've scratched and slashed their way to stay in this game. And by now, we should all realize they're not going away. Now the pressure again swings to their defense because they're going to need to find some way to get the ball back.
Now McManus to tack on the extra point. And this is back to a 5-point game. That time a 6-play drive. And it ends with a Packers touchdown. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And they'll have good field position here as he's out of bounds up at about the 34-yard line. The Washington offense set to take over. Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. 1st down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10.
Off the play fake, Daniels.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
Here's 2nd and 10. Daniels looking to throw.
Hurts over the middle. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
13 yards there and a Washington first.
Zone coverage here defensively. They're going to let their tight end run a drag across the field. This is where a linebacker gets forced to pass him off. That time, the receiver gets lost a little bit, and he's able to make the catch and pick up good yardage and a first down.
On the counter, this is Robinson.
Oh, fighting off the defender. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. 13-yard gain yet again, just like last play.
Well, you know me, partner. I never tell them to back off of being aggressive, but sometimes you see the consequences when you're overly aggressive and you don't secure tackles. Guys break through.
Trying to sell out to pry that football loose, and just as you said, cost some yardage.
Yeah, you got to go get him. Stand him up first before you go for the ball. Don't just go for it initially.
They'll run again here with Robinson. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
To the air goes Daniels.
Had his hands on it, but dropped it. The rookie making a little bit of a rookie mistake. 3rd down. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
The offense on 3rd down tonight. 6 conversions and 9 tries. They've done a great job of picking these up. This is 3rd and 9. That's going to be caught by Samuel.
And he's going to have a Commanders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Big hook up there. Forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
They go play action. Daniels.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Washington.
Deebo Samuel, 29 yards. And the Commanders get an important score there to extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Well, to put it mildly, he's been able to dice up this secondary all game long, and this time that was a missile that he threw into the end zone and adding another touchdown to his ledger.
And I think we see these youngsters develop a lot quicker than we ever have because when they get started in this game, they're not just throwing passes around. They're reading coverages early. So now they're like seasoned pros earlier in their career. How about this one here? If they win this ball game, a game ball, definitely coming from his head coach.
Extra point by Gay is up and good. And it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. This offense headed back out, captained, of course, by their quarterback. And he has been masterful so far in leading this offense. He's kept the mistakes to a minimum. He's been on point with his passes, and he's generally been one step ahead of this defense all game long. That's to Kraft, the tight end.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A very solid gain of 27.
Charles, he's now over 400 yards passing in this one. It feels like he has a zillion completions. Just a very memorable effort from a guy that we thought could be in line for a big game, and he has exceeded our expectations.
That he has, and I'm not really surprised at all because when you look at this offensive unit, they are loaded across the board. And, of course, the guy throwing them, he's a big-time player himself. They brought it from start to finish and really helped get the better of the opposing secondary.
Second down and a yard. Love from the gun. And he's got his big tight end here. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 17-yard line. Now a tip of the cap to the man under center, Charles. He just went over 400 yards passing in this ball game. He's got the touchdown passes to boot, taking pretty good care of the ball. Just all around a really solid performance.
Yeah, just check, 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 and check, right? Because he certainly showed he was worthy of the trust that his team put in him. A handful of touchdowns to his credit thus far. Now he's just crossing off yardage milestones, and win or lose, his name has to be in serious discussion for player of the game.
Here's Love. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Reed.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
They'll come to the line now on a 3rd and 6. He finds his man complete. That's Jacobs. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. He got out of bounds. That's a good thing, but still short of the first.
And now, since this brings up 4th down, the defensive play caller, grab your nerves, because now you don't want to be so amped up that you give them a first down by getting out of your lanes, but you also don't want to just lay back and let them have it easily.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and Washington will have it on the turnover on downs. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
We've got to have two hands on the football here as they run on first down. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts, and they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. They run again with McNichols. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. You'd have to think likely another running play coming here, 2nd and 11. Robinson up the middle, and the window closes quickly. He'll only get up to the 22-yard line. Now the Packers going to burn their third and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Third down and 10. Throwing now is Daniels. On the screen, this is Eckler. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. So now out comes this offense led by their quarterback as they take over once more. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been that successful. He just processes things so quickly and makes a right read seemingly every time. To Dobbs, and he hauls it in. And they'll get him down after a gain of 7, but they'll happily give him that.
At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
Love looking to throw it. Completes it again to Dobbs. Well, this was a fun one today if you like points. A lot of them went on the board. Both offenses were clicking. Charles, these defenses, meanwhile, have a little something to clean up before their next contest.
Yeah, neither end zone had a stop sign in it, did they? I mean, for both sides, visit it, and with frequency. Not fun to be a defensive player, but on the offensive side of the ball, those guys had a blast. One team came away with a victory, even better for them.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. From Lambeau, good night, everybody.